Welcome to Cowgirl Up, the podcast dedicated to elevating your mindset. I'm your host, Lori Blickenstaff, certified mental performance coach at mentalgame101.com. The Olympian we're going to look at today is Brody Malone. He is a two-time Olympian in men's gymnastics and most recently the winner of a bronze medal as part of the men's team in Paris in 2024. Now, what you might not know, and I listened to him on an interview on the Let's Freaking Rodeo podcast, and Brody says that he grew up calf roping and team roping. Did a little bit of junior rodeo and some high school rodeo too, but then at age 15, he had to make the decision to go all in with his gymnastics, so that halted his roping career. But I've listened to him on a few interviews, and the mindset nugget that stands out to me is his next play mentality. We talked about this last week in the Looking Forward, Not Back episode, if you remember. Well, case in point. So at the 2024 Olympics, he started out with what he calls one of the worst meets of my life in the prelims for the individual events. Now, just try to imagine starting off the Olympics with this type of performance. But as he said, you've got to be able to put it to the back of your mind and focus on what you've got to do next. In this case, what was coming up next was the men's team event. Well, he was obviously able to do that because he performed just rock solid from that point forward. I saw the performance that night on pommel horse. That was the last event of the team competition. Brody was the second to last to go, and then he had one teammate right after him. And they knew at this point that if he and his teammate nailed their routines, they would for sure be in there for a medal. Well, they both did, and it was so exciting to watch. And as for that next play mentality, he said, you can't let the bad performance affect what could potentially be a great performance on the next event. Part of being a good athlete is being able to put those kinds of things behind you and reset and push forward. Well, he says this short-term type of memory, like we've talked about, was a lesson that his dad tried to teach him early on in life. And what makes his bronze medal finish for the team even more amazing is that just 14 months prior to this, he had fallen and totally messed up his knee, requiring 3 surgeries and physical therapy right up to the qualifiers for the Olympics. And then even in Paris, he was still doing his physical therapy. But he said that the injury gave him a new perspective. In his words, I don't have to do this. I get to do this. I do this because I love it and I get to glorify God through it. That alone is enough to be happy about. That alone is enough to have joy, whether you get gold, silver, bronze, or 18th place. So based on what we've heard, I'm pretty sure that Brody would be all for our power statement. Remember it? Challenges make me stronger. Bring 'em on. And on that note, make sure to tune in tomorrow because we're going to look at the greatest of all time in the women's gymnastics, Simone Biles. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you have any questions, feedback, or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Email me at lori@mentalgame101.com.